we have developed, and this is a fluid document, the RESEMBID Visibility Guidelines, which is really a supplementary document to what I would have just shared, the EU Visibility Guidelines. But this becomes very specific to RESEMBID, to our branding, and of course, how we co-brand with you for your different outputs. Right. So this is again a document that you will receive. And what it does, it's like I said, it really brings home the kind of general overview picture provided by the EU visibility guidelines. It brings this in and narrows the focus into how this relates to RESEMBID. So the first and very critical part of this document is the RESEMBID logo and the how the visual representations of this logo. And of course, now we do have two versions, so it does also explain what is used for when, etc., etc. Now, rest assured that you don't. So, as I mentioned, there are two different logos, or two versions of the logo. The horizontal logo is used when you have more room to play with, versus the stack logo is when space is limited. Now, that being said, in addition to this document, and again, if you are not in receipt, do send us an email, comms@resembid.com, or you can email myself or Indy. And Indy, if you could go ahead and just place those 3 emails into the chat, that would be great. In addition to this document, you will also receive a zip folder of all of these versions of the logo. So whether it is a stacked one, colored, black and white, transparent, so that you use these to, again, you cut down on time in terms of asking us for this, but you can share that with whether it's a graphic artist, printer, whoever, website developer, and they're all versions of this logo available for use in this zip folder. So, of course, again, if there are any issues, please feel free to contact us, but everything should be there for you. So not only do we give you the different versions of the logo and how to use it, but there are also very specific dimensions in terms of how to use this graphic. So if you have to put it on a letterhead, on a virtual background, all this kind of stuff, you have your guidance here as to how to use it. And of course, again, with the two different kinds of logos. And again, with you would create different products that have different sizes. So again, we do give you the sizing, the recommended sizing to use. Equally important to learning or to knowing how to use the logo correctly is knowing what is the incorrect usage of the logo, which is again explained here. Because we give you the source files for the logo, we don't expect any changes to be made for to color, using an outline, making it bold, removing any of the elements. So we do insist, not even encourage, but insist that you use what is sent in the source files. But we know, for example, if you are, let's say, printing T-shirts, sometimes some printers separate the elements. So if that for any reason does happen, you do have guidelines as to, how to go about doing that. Again, because we do send you the source files, we don't expect any variations in color, etc. But if for any reason, should it happen, should any separation of the pieces happen, you do have, and you can send this again to your printer, certainly the person in charge of comms and visibility. You do have the exact colors that need to be used, so you don't have to, it's not a guessing game, it's all right there. The secondary colors, this is generally for RESEMBID use, but if if you want some sort of guidance in terms of from a design perspective, if you're putting together a poster, a leaflet, whatever it is, we do have some suggestions here for our secondary colors that we do use. But of course, because it's your project, you're welcome to use whatever works best, whether it's your logo, etc., etc. We do have our chosen font is Montserrat, found in PowerPoint, Word, etc. Again, this really does govern our our logo and our look and feel. But again, if you say, okay, let's have some quality control here. We want to look as close as possible to RESEMBID. Again, totally your call. But if you do, this is the font that you use. So as I mentioned, this is really a practical how-to guideline as to, okay, you've got you have the logo versions, you know how to use it, great. Now, how do I put a t-shirt together? How do I do a lanyard, a cup, whatever? And as mentioned, this is very much a fluid document. So the examples of co-branding that I'm about to present are really those that we've seen presented several times in the communications and visibility plans in the templates. So we've just highlighted the more frequent ones. That being said, if you don't see a product that your template speaks to, of course, feel free to mention it to us. We will walk you through the design, and we can even put it on this fluid document so that others can see. So what am I talking about here? So you have, and again, this is indicative. So if you have a water bottle and not a coffee cup, it's the same, it's the same rules for each. So on one side, you do have your project logo. So whatever your project logo is, if you don't have a project logo and you choose to use your whether it is your the agency, your NGO, whatever it is, you put that on one side, and on the flip side of the cup or the bottle, whatever it is you have. And again, we provide this image to you. It is a RESEMBID logo on top, and the logo of the European Union, Expertise France, and the World Bank GFTRR on the underside. Again, really important. We do provide this to you, so you don't actually have to, build this, we call it our strap line. It is provided for you, and again, in all the different elements that you will need. We've provided options in different colors. Now, because this strap line here is in white, we do encourage sticking to these colors or this kind of color scheme that we've identified here. But if for any reason you want to have a green cup or an orange cup or something, again, you are free to reach out to us with your design idea. Either way, none of this is to be implemented before our approval, which again, we will get into. So, the door is always open on that side. Given an example here of a black or dark colored product, because of course, as you can see, we do have options where the RESEMBID logo is white. So there are opportunities to use this white background, or sorry, the white logo, and of course we would encourage this on the use of darker material. We have lots of t-shirts and polos being produced. So again, this is how we recommend going forward with this. So as a note says on the left-hand side, the project logo goes on the left breast, RESEMBID on the right, and the partner logo strip, again, all provided for you and translated in English and French, goes on the back of the t-shirt. And same thing with color options, as well as, of course, the black option that gives you the opportunity to use our very handsome white logo. We do have some caps. So again, project logo kind of goes it does go in the center. Of course, the project remains the central focus, with our visibility being recognized, with the RESEMBID on the right side and the partner logo strip on the left, again with some color options. And lastly on this document is the letterhead, which a lot of people are developing. Of course, you use this for whether it is your formal communication, press releases, documents, whatever. The floor is yours in terms of uses for your letterhead, but this is the recommended setup. So again, your project logo is on the left, RESEMBID is on the right, and always the partner the partner logos at the bottom. Right. So as I mentioned, we will share this with you. Um, in fact, I don't think most people have received this one because this is actually just updated to include these visual elements. So we're happy to share with those of you who are on this call. If you know you have team members who needs to be in receipt of this, please feel free to email India myself. I believe the emails would have been put into the chat, and we are happy to send this to you.